To protect your home from a natural disaster, you may need to take a hard look at your current policy.
While your costs are growing fast, there's a good chance your coverage is actually shrinking.
Yeah, Derek James looks into what you can do to make sure you're properly insured.
While we don't experience hurricanes or wildfires as extensive as the ongoing devastation in Southern California, Minnesota is dealing with an increasing share of destructive weather.
Not something you see on the news every day, but Minnesota has been very problematic for insurance carriers for the last 10 to 15 years.
That's because warmer temperatures are increasing the severity and frequency of storms. From 1980 through 2024, there were 62 confirmed weather climate disaster events with losses over $1 billion each in Minnesota.
Do Minnesotans have adequate home insurance to protect them for this increasing number of disasters?
Most Minnesotans do, but we do know that a handful do not, and that number seems to be growing every day as carriers continue to make changes and reduce coverage.
Eric Scarns, president of Insurance Warehouse, says the extreme weather coupled with higher construction costs means Minnesota premiums have not kept up with the payouts for damaged property. In hail-prone areas like ours, insurers have changed hail deductibles to a percentage of a home's value, typically 2%, which is much more than a $1,000 or $2,000 deductible. Homeowners are also finding themselves responsible for a significantly larger share of roof repair costs.
Reducing things like payments for roofs, we're seeing a lot of cosmetic damage exclusion or matching exclusion, actual cash value for the roofs, which simply means you're getting paid what the roof is worth, not what it costs to actually replace that roof.
These changes are becoming gaps in coverage that most policyholders aren't aware of until disaster strikes.
I'm so sorry.
How much homeowners insurance do you need? You should have enough insurance to rebuild your home, replace any belongings, pay for living expenses if you've been displaced, and even cover damages caused to others. Scarn says now, or at the very least on your next policy renewal, you should take stock of your current coverage.
Speaking with your agent and talking to them about what changes you need to be aware of. If there's unfavorable ones, finding a new carrier is a potential as well.
And Derek joins us now. You had to take a hard look at your policy because of something that happened.
Yeah, well, because every situation is so different. When I lived in North Carolina for many years, one of the biggest things we had to deal with was damage from hurricane remnants. And so we had a lot of water come into our home, completely covered by insurance. Moved back to the Midwest, have some flooding in my basement, find out that because it came in through groundwater, no coverage whatsoever, and have to pay out of pocket for any and all repairs. Yeah. Every situation very, very different.
And so what do you want to talk to an agent about? You're supposed to give them maybe more specific information
what should we be
than
asking?
you're used to?
I mean, you want to be talking about the age of your home. You just heard that they're not covering all roofs based on condition because they're saying wear and tear. So how old is that roof? When is the last time it had an inspection? In my situation, probably should have had a more current foundation inspection or a better one because when I bought the home, there wasn't anything noted in the inspection about that. So those are things that you really have to be thinking about on a regular basis because, Mike, you know this all too well. The recurrence of these events is only going up and up, and then the costs for repair are also going up.
Yeah, there have been some stories just in the past week, including at our sister station in Colorado, where they're experiencing that far from the coast policy cancellations and the inability to write new policies. The person you talked to, did he say, is that happening on a large scale here?
Not on a large scale, but that is also happening, especially in those most hail-prone areas. And then, you know, a lot of people, most people don't carry any kind of flood insurance. In the state of Minnesota, it's less than 1%. And then even if you're not in a flood zone, do you say to yourself, maybe I should spend the extra money to have flood insurance?